Good day everyone, I am Mikamiti Del Moro, and before we proceed to our main topic for today, let me first discuss the concept of resource markets, on what these markets are and why they are vital in the study of economics. Resource markets refer to markets that exchange the services of the four factors of production, which are the labor, the capital, land, and lastly the entrepreneurship. Another term used for this is the factor markets, which is one of the primary sets of the macroeconomic markets. The study of macroeconomics is concerned with the imbalances, the changes on these markets covering the surplus or the excess resources over the required needs in the economy, as well as the resulting unemployment. This is also linked with product markets as movements in the latter are closely connected with the activities in the resource markets. For example, if more output is traded in the product markets, additional resources are used through the resource markets. Whereas, if there are declines, this will cause surplus and unemployment. Resource markets are existing on all of the factors of production. However, we will be giving an analytical spotlight on labor resources. Labor is not an unfamiliar term for most of us. We can define it as the work or any productive activity to produce goods and services in the economy. Moreover, it covers the ability to execute work or supply workers to a certain industry or economic sector. Other than being an important resource in the total production process, it has been given the spotlight because of the following reasons. First, labor constitutes a majority of resources used in production, which is around 60%. Second, employment of labor has a direct bearing on individual living standards and the well-being of a large segment of the population. Under the spotlight on labor resources exists the concept of the natural unemployment. This occurs when labor services are in balance, meaning the number of available jobs is the same with the number of workers seeking employment. Simply put, there is an equal number between the two. However, natural unemployment doesn't necessarily mean that unemployment is zero, as there are mismatches. With regards, there are two types of unemployment under the concept of natural unemployment, which are the frictional and the structural. Frictional unemployment occurs when unemployed workers have the necessary skills to be qualified for the job but are unaware or geographically separated from the available jobs, meaning they could have the job for them but can't because of unawareness, the distance, and other factors that may have been restricting them. On the contrary, structural unemployment occurs when unemployed workers don't have the skills needed for the available jobs. Simply put, the jobs are not for them, considering the skills and characteristics that they possess do not match up with what are needed.
Good day, everyone. I am Cristal Joyce P. De Leon, and I will be discussing who the laborers are, what are their functions in the company, as well as their importance to the organization. So, first and foremost, who are the laborers? They are defined as the personnel of the organizational staff and the backbone of the company who execute organizational duties and carry out organizational management's objectives. They are also described as someone who works for the company doing manual, skilled, unskilled, technical, operational, clerical, or specific type of supervisory work without receiving payment. The effectiveness with which employees complete their tasks has an impact on the organization's performance. Laborers are also defined as true assets of an organization. It is because they are the ones who successfully contribute to the organization's smooth operation. They work very hard to deliver what they promise and complete the assigned tasks by the deadline. Truly, they have a significant influence on how the workplace culture is determined. Now, let us proceed with the importance of laborers to a company. First, they are necessary for providing goods or services. A company's primary objective is to boost workers' productivity and performance. Laborers create the completed product, manage money, publicize their business, and maintain the records required for decision making. Second, laborers are the face of a company. If workers are happy with the service they receive from the company, they will be more driven to work hard and deliver good results, which will draw in additional investors and customers. Third, they are the ones that care for the organization. Laborers are the ones that devote their entire selves to the company. Like parents, they feed their companies with their ideals and never-ending efforts to elevate them. Fourth, an effective and enduring organization is built on its laborers. Laborers of all levels run the organization. This means that their courage, passion, and devotion, as well as their emotional tie to the organization, cannot be measured in monetary terms. Lastly, laborers have a significant role in the organization's success and value. As the company's most valuable assets, their knowledge, talent, and experience are priceless. As a result, in order to progress, businesses must focus and recognize the contributions of each worker. Furthermore, adequately rewarding the organization's personnel will keep them motivated because they will believe that their efforts are not in vain, and this could make them feel like valuable members of the organization, which may encourage them to do a better job.
Hello everyone. The next topic would be about the factors affecting labor resources. In labor resources, there are many factors and it really varies. It may be related to economic conditions or even to fiscal policies. But most commonly, it is the demographic factors which relate to labor resources that has the biggest effect. Some of these are even influenced by federal policies. So here are some of the common factors that affects labor resources. First one is sex, where men are more likely to participate than their women counterpart. Second factor is the population. Well, a population increase result in labor force increase, so even the slightest change in the population rate can affect labor resources. Third one is the income. Well, as income grows, it attracts labor force entrants hoping to take advantage of it. Fourth one would be the educational attainment. Whereas in a more educated society, there is a higher labor force than the less educated society. Fifth one would be the home ownership, where a higher home ownership rate is associated with the size of the labor force. Well, this generally relates to the rate of unemployment. Sixth one would be the marital status, where it really differs from men and women. Generally, generally, married men are more likely to participate in labor force than the unmarried men, whereas married women are less likely to participate than unmarried women. Seventh one would be the disability. People with disability generally have the lower labor force participation than people without disabilities. And lastly, race and ethnicity, where labor force participation really differs by racial and ethnic group relations. So this topic is about the struggles in labor resources. There are four common struggles encountered in labor resources. The first one is the racial oppression. Some workers who fear that they may be discriminated against their work may not seek employment to companies they perceive to practice discrimination. Second one is the demographic changes. Well, changing in working population from generation to generation changes the labor force participation. Third one will be the technological advances. Technological advances are good, but in the area of favor, it is a negative one. It is because it displaces the current workers from their current occupations. Lastly is the impact of climate change on jobs. Climate change creates occupational risk and it reduces work productivity and the work capacity that a worker may do.
Wages and salaries. Wages is a compensation paid to employees for work for a company during a period of time. Wages are always paid based on certain amount of time, This is usually an hourly basis. This is where the term hourly worker comes from. So basically, it is a monetary return for labor or services usually according to contract and on an hourly basis. So there are two types of wages, the regular wages and the supplemental wages. Regular wages are fixed amounts they earn each day period, while supplemental wages are typically additional non-regular wages. So regular wages, ito yung fixed amount na nare-receive daily or hourly ng employee. While yung supplemental wages is ito lang yung additional sa regular na nare-receive nilang wages. So, ano nga ba yung examples ng regular wages? Ano nga ba yung types ng regular wages? So, we have two, the salary wages and hourly wages. Salary wages or a fixed regular payment to an employee and hourly wages or a payment based on hours they work for day. An employee paid hourly might work varying hours, therefore changing their paycheck each period. So, ayun yung salary wages and hourly wages. So, sa types naman ng supplementary wages, we have 5. First is the overtime wages or the payment for additional work or work more than the time required. So, ito yung additional payment kapag yung employee is nagtrabaho more than dun sa time na requirement. Second is the retroactive pay. It is a compensation from a previous period resulted by miscalculation of regular wages, failing to pay overtime, forgetting to account erase, and other situations. So, retroactive pay is ito yung pagbabayad sa pwedeng kulang noong nakaraang payment or may nagkamali sa calculations. Halimbawa, nagkamali yung calculations kaya kulang yung naibigay sa kanyang payment. That is retroactive pay. Third is commissions or the money employees earn when they accomplish another sale or goal. So technically, commissions are additional payment when they reach another goal or may na-achieve silang goal ng or quota or sale. That is commissions. Fourth is bonus pay. It is the money an employee earns in addition to their regular wage as a reward or a gift. And lastly, the severance pay or the money an employee earn after leaving a business in lieu of their regular wages. So, severance pay, matatanggap yun ng isang employee kapag umalis na sila dun or na-terminate sila dun sa company. So, that's the types of supplementary wages. Salaries. Salary is the money that someone is paid each month by their employer, especially when they are in a profession such as teaching, law, or medicine. So basically, salary is yung money na re-receive natin when we work in a regular basis. Halimbawa, isa kang teacher, so araw-araw kang pumapasok. So yung natatanggap mong money, monthly, that is called salaries. So what is the difference between wages and salaries? So, the essential difference between a salary and wages is that a salaried person is paid a fixed amount per pay period and a wage earner is paid by the hour. So, technically, yung salaries is consistent yung amount na natatanggap niya every period, while yung wage naman is pabago-bago kasi pwedeng pabago-bago rin yung oras na nagtrabaho yung employee. So that is the difference between salary and wages.